Hello and welcome to my channel, Ryan Aston Language Coach. I'm Ryan Aston. In this video we will be looking at the use of apostrophes. Or is that apostrophes? Apostrophes generally have two common uses. The first is to indicate a contraction of a word where a letter has been removed. So typical examples that you would have seen before are in words like don't, isn't, can't. Don't, of course, is short for do not, but the O is removed and you're left with don't. Isn't is short for is not, again the O is removed and you are left with isn't. And can't, the O again is removed, so you are left with can't. In all cases the apostrophe indicates a missing letter. The other use, which is slightly more difficult to grasp but not too complicated, is when it indicates possession. Let's look at the sentence, it's not my car, it's John's car. Now here the apostrophe S indicates that the car belongs to John. So again, that's quite straightforward. But what if you're not talking about one person? What if you're talking about several people? Well, let's look at the expression the man's car. Now, the plural for man is men. So if you're talking about several men, so if you're talking about the cars of several men, you would say the men's cars. Again, the apostrophe S at the end of men indicates a possession, the cars belonging to the men. But then look at the sentence, the car's lights are bright. This apostrophe S comes after the word car, and it means you're talking about the lights of one car. But what if when you say the car's lights are bright, you're talking about two or more cars? In that case, the apostrophe must go after the S. So you have C-A-R-S apostrophe, the car's lights are bright. If you see an apostrophe indicating possession and you're not sure whether it's referring to one or more than one, the trick I learnt at school was to look at what is written before the apostrophe. So as you can see, sometimes knowing where to use the apostrophe with a plural noun can be a little bit more difficult, but hopefully so far is not too complicated. But there are a few special cases that I think we should look at. The first example we looked at, we said it's John's car. The car belongs to John, so the apostrophe S comes at the end of the name John. But there's a special case where the name already has an S at the end. So let's take the name James. So we want to say the car belonging to James. In spoken English, you would say it's James's car. The car belonging to James is James's car. And for that reason, many people will write James apostrophe S. It's James's car. But technically that's not correct. The rule should be that if the name already has an S at the end, then you just add an apostrophe, the same as we did with plural nouns. So in writing it should look like this. Even if in spoken English it is correct to say it's James's car, in written English you should not put an S after the apostrophe. The next special case I want to look at is the sentence, look at the car, its lights are bright. So look at the car, its lights are bright. Its, I-T-S. Now that was always a very difficult one for me at school, because it made sense when you say its, you're talking about possession. The lights of it refers to the car, and you're talking about the lights of it being the car. So it always makes sense to write it like this. Its lights are bright. but that is not correct. This is an exception. When it refers to possession, as in his, her, its, it does not contain an apostrophe. It's with an apostrophe always means it is. But when it refers to the possession, the lights of it, the car, its lights will not have an apostrophe. It is a mistake that many people make, and it is an exception to the rule of using an apostrophe for possession. The reason is its, its, already implies possession on its own, so it doesn't need an added apostrophe. So those are the rules for using an apostrophe. I do want to point out two common mistakes that you will see a lot. The first is when you see an apostrophe with an acronym. So I used to see in the shops, for example, CDs £5. CD, which is an acronym for compact disc, but people will often make plural these acronyms with an apostrophe S, but that's not correct. It should be written CDs £5 with no apostrophe. The same applies with numbers and years. So for example, people might say, I was born in the 1980s, or I was born in the 80s, and they would write 1980s like this, with an apostrophe S. Again, like CDs, that is incorrect. It should be written without an apostrophe, 1980s. So that's it for apostrophes. This topic is a little bit more difficult to grasp than some of the others, so it's one video I would recommend you watch 2 or 3 times if you're not sure about. But if after that you still have more questions, leave a comment in the box, send me an email, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If any of you have any suggestions on what videos you would like to see, what you would like me to teach, then of course I'm open to suggestions as well. If you would like one-on-one tuition or extra conversation practice, then send me an email. I do offer lessons over Skype. My email address is ryanaston.ec@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.